Today, I want to bring us to that point of storytelling where I want to share a story with you and then make you understand what is obtainable in it. A few months back, I was planning for studies, and along the line, I noticed I was pregnant. So I wanted to forfeit my plan for studies, but I insisted on one way or the other, things might fall in place. And eventually, when the baby was 3 months old, we needed to travel for my study. And we traveled when he was 3 months old. When he became 6 months old, we needed to enroll him in a daycare. And the thing was, fortunately for me, I wasn't the only African or only black person, the only student who has a child. In the building where I stay, there is another student who has a baby. So we planned to enroll the children. When we wanted to enroll the children, one of the prayers I made at that time was, God, anywhere these kids will be maltreated, let them reject us uh, instead of accepting us and then maltreating the babies. So the first place we went to, they told us they did not want black children. The other place we called, they said they were not interested. The third place we contacted was the one that eventually agreed to take in the babies. So when they took in, we registered them and everything was fine, and the place was close by to the school. So it was barely 1 month that we enrolled them. My neighbor, the fellow students, came back and told me they rejected them. They said they shouldn't come anymore. She shouldn't bring the baby anymore, but not the boy, because mine is a boy and hers is a girl. So she said not the boy, but the girl. Eventually, I consoled her. I told her things would fall in place there. It wasn't a problem. Okay, so I was having an online class at that time. When I was done with my online class at the time, I decided to take the child. Deep down, my spirit already told me that this child will be staying there because there were two of them in their particular section. So now this one had been rejected. They might not want this one, even though they said they did not reject the boy child. Just to fulfill all righteousness, let it just not be that okay. I took the decision not to take the child back to school myself, with the advice of some persons, some friends. I took the child back. When I went, started telling me stories that the preparator was not around. She had this, she had that, this, that they cannot take the child except the woman is around, and all of those stories. This was how they treated us until told me to just forget it. We left. I told my neighbor, and this time around, it was her time to console me. We cried together, and so eventually, she then her baby was already somewhere because you can't take a child to the class. So she, because of the nature of how things were at the place where her baby was, we couldn't enroll the two children there because the person taking care of the child at the time might not be able to take care of two children at that age. She told the neighbor about the situation, and the neighbor said okay that she was going to help me make contacts, stuff like that. So she helped me make contact, and we got the place. At this time, I was already praying. I said, God, this is what I want. I don't want a place where this child would suffer, where I would regret coming here with this child. I want a place where this child would have a kind of customized experience. Like, even though he wouldn't be with me from 8 a.m. to sometimes 5 p.m., let it be a customized experience that he would have being in that place as if he's in grandma's house and stuff like that. And I can tell you that this particular place we go, just a stone's throw from where we stay. Unlike the other place that we had to take a bus. to go to the place. Now we have somewhere closer with a better experience, to the point that you're not scared of taking the children there by weekend just to do things you want to do. And so this thing brought me to that point. I started thinking about the situation, and it brought me to that point where I just said, sometimes the things, when we got to the crèche where the children were initially, where we were rejected, I was so excited. I said, wow, this, that. Sometimes when we come to the point that, okay, this is the prayer answered for me, and then something happens and you just be like, what is this again? You just have to know that, okay, as long as there is, I don't know how to put this lesson here now. The lesson I got from this experience here is that you may keep having disappointments until you eventually get to what God has in mind for you. You may keep having different disappointment. Like, for instance, I might be talking to someone who thinks that, okay, the disappointment they just had in a relationship was so unfair. God does not care. God does not care. God just left you to handle. God did not leave you to handle it. Most times our disappointment is as a result of us, as a result of God pushing us to get to an ultimate plan for us. There is this is a permissive will of God and the preferred will of God. For me, there's this prayer I always make. My prayer has always been that, God, keep pushing me till you push me into your perfect will. It's not an easy prayer. It means that there are relationships that will break. It means that there are disappointments that will come. It means that there are some things that may look so difficult, especially when you think, okay, now I'm settling in. Okay, you go to Canada and you think, okay, now I'm settling in. All of a sudden, something that has to make you go to UK or something that will make you even go back to your home country comes, and you think, okay, this is disappointment, I can't deal with this. Okay, in your disappointment, in every disappointment you get, try to review it and see, like, what is God saying in this? What is God's take about this situation? Or what is God's take about this and that? This particular story I told you, it has made my stay here a very strong one. Like, I said, wow. Sometimes when we are crying over the spilled milk, it means that God wants to give us a fresher milk than what we had in the cup. So if there is any situation you are crying about now, crying over, maybe a failed business, maybe a failed relationship, maybe whatever happens, whatever you were crying over now, just don't cry too much over the spilled milk. This is me trying to encourage you on a Monday, saying, don't cry too much over the spilled milk. God has another cup in his hand that he wants to hand over to you. And when you trust God, you know that what he's going to give to you will be far better than what you have. So this is just encouragement Monday, encouraging you to keep going. Don't give up. Keep hoping. Keep putting your faith on God. He would not let you down. From my story, if God can actually minister to you a lesson in your part in what you're going through right now. I'll see you next time. Thank you.